Good morning, students. Today we are going to revise the chapter number 3, metals and non-metals. The revision is chapter 2. Okay, as in the first lecture we have been studying the chemical properties of metals. In this we are going to see the third and fourth chemical properties and move forward to the other parts. The third property of a chemical of a metal is reaction of metal with an acid. We know that when metals react with an acid, they do form salt and hydrogen. Same as of this, if it react with any, you need to balance the equation also. And in the fourth one, reaction of metal with other metal salt. As of this, you can see the reaction that Fe, when react with copper sulfate, there is an exchange of sulfide and sulfur ions with the other metal. Okay, before going further into the chapter, let us first revise the reactivity series. There are many metals which are being present, as you can see here: sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, aluminium, zinc, iron, lead, hydrogen, copper, mercury, silver and gold. Okay, so as of this, for learning, to make us to be learned very easily and to be clear of this, we are going to make a mnemonics of it. That means to understand it very clearly, we are going to make some of the shortcuts. You can use this word: please stop calling me a quick zebra. I like her call smart goat. So here the first letter which is being present here, please, P. You can name it as a metal, as an potassium. Stop. S as sodium. C as a calling calcium. Me as a magnesium. A as an aluminium. C as carbon. Zinc, iron, lead, hydrogen, copper, silver and gold. These are the simple words which you can use for the metals to be recognized as potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, aluminium, zinc, iron, lead, hydrogen, copper and mercury, silver, gold. Okay, the elements which are being placed above, as we can see here, the element which are, as in the reaction of this Fe plus copper sulfate, you can see in this reactivity series that iron is being placed upper as copper is placed lower. That's why copper is more reactive than Fe plus copper sulfate. Okay, when this reaction has been done, we can see that we do get as a FeSO4 plus copper is left alone. This is because we can see that Fe is placed above the copper. That's why it replaces the element which is being present at the bottom. You can see copper is placed at the bottom, whereas Fe is placed above the copper. Fine. Okay, you can use this mnemonics to learn all the reactivity series elements. Potassium, please stop calling me a quiet zebra. I like her call smart goat. Okay, this no need to write in exam, just to learn the elements which are being present one after the other. Fine. And next one, we are going to study about the ionic bond. Okay, to study that, we need to know the valency shell which is being filled in the outermost shell. We know that element has a tendency to fill completely to be filled outermost shell. Before going to this, we'll just go to this table. We know that in the outermost table, noble gases, if you see in the outermost shell, it is completely filled. So we can tell that octet rule is completely filled. Okay, what should be the first electron? I'll just take 1 minute. Okay, in the outermost shell, if it is having first shell, then in the outermost shell it should be 2. Second shell it is, then in the outermost shell it should be 8. We use the formula as which we studied in the 9th class. Okay, 2, we use the formula as 2n square. Okay, 2 multiply, if we are using number of shell is 1, to 1 whole power square, you will get 1 into 1, it will be 2. So in the first outermost orbit my valency should be 1. If I go to the second one, okay, second, if I am going to the second shell, then it will be 2 multiply with 2 whole power square, then it should be mine 2 multiply with 4, then it is 8. Then in my second orbital, second shell, it should be 8 electrons. Suppose if I am having in the outermost shell 1 2 3, that means 1 2 3 I can donate to another elements which is having 6 7 8. If it is having 5, it require 3 elements to complete the octet rule. If it is having 6, I can donate 2 electrons to complete the octet rule 8. If it is having 7, I can donate 1 to make it as 8. So to complete the octet rule, we are going to use this. Okay, now you need to learn all this, that metals lose the electrons to form a cations, non-metals gain electron to form an ion. Suppose if I take here Na is having in the outermost shell 1, so it loses an electron and become a positive charge, which we call it as a cation. Non-metal, they gain, example chlorine, in the outermost shell it is having 7, so it will gain 1 electron from sodium, so it will be having a chlorine minus, that means it is forming an anion. Okay, so a transfer of electrons from one to another, metal to non-metal, so they form a compound. So this we call it as ionic compound, exchange of ion, plus became and chlorine became minus. Clear? Okay, now taking an example of NaCl. As you can see here, Na is having in the outermost shell 1 electron in the outermost shell. As of in the chlorine, it is having 7 electron. They have drawn in the daughter structure. Now in the downside, you can see Na giving rise to Na plus, that means 1 electron it is been donated. When you are writing before the arrow, okay, when you are writing after the arrow, see E minus, that means you are going to give the electron. When you are writing before the arrow, that means you are going to take 1 electron. This becomes plus, this becomes minus, then only ionic compound can be formed. So the formula can be NaCl, sodium chloride. Taking one more example for this, aluminium chloride. We know that aluminium is having 2 electrons in the outermost shell. Chlorine, as aluminium is having 2 electrons in the outermost shell, we need to take 2 chlorine. So in the outermost shell of first chlorine will be 7, and in the second chlorine also will be 7. So aluminium 1, it can donate 1 electron to 1 chlorine, next chlorine 1. So the formula can be easily done as aluminium is 1, but chlorine we are taking as 2. Okay, this aluminium shared 2 electrons to 2 chlorine atoms. Clear? Okay. As of simple, you can see, as I told you, that aluminium, as of here, aluminium donates 2 electrons written. Okay, here chlorine we have written only 1 electron, that means we are going to take 2 atoms of chlorine. 1 we have written, so 2 chlorine, 1 electron will be taken by both the chlorines. Fine. Now let us go to MgCl2. Okay, here also Mg is having in the outermost shell 2 electrons. Okay, so it will donate 2 electrons to 2 chlorine atoms. Fine. So formation of a magnesium chloride will be taking place. Okay. Fine. Now coming back to, you may be asked that what are the general properties of ionic compound. So general properties of ionic compounds are, first you need to name them: physical nature, melting and boiling point, solubility, conductivity. Now, as a physical nature, they are always in a solid, somewhat hard, because there is a force of attraction. Ionic bond has been formed, plus and minus ions have been present, so that's why they are packed in a solid form. They are brittle if we try to bake them into pieces when pressure is applied to them. Melting and boiling point for both the ionic bond will be high. Okay. Solubility, electrovalent compound means electron transferred wale compound, generally soluble in water but insoluble in solvents like kerosene and petrol. Their conductivity is in solvent involves movement of plus and positive and negative charges. They will be moving out because it is an ionic bond. As we know, opposite charges and unlike charges, as we discussed in the chapter 3 only, as in the part 3, as I made a video of it. Okay, this part we are not going to go through it, as there is a reduction in syllabus, so we are not going to teach about this. I am just going to drop it. Now they may ask you the question, what are amorphic oxide? Metal oxides which react with both acids as well as bases. They produce salt and water. They are called as amorphic oxide. You can take an example of powder which we use in our Pounds powder. It is very soft. That is amorphic oxide, which we can call. It react with metal oxide which reacts with both acid as well as bases. We call them as an amorphic oxides. Clear? Okay. Now in this we need to remember all the chemical properties, as this of I taught you in the class. Okay, I'll just go to as a revision. As when a metal react with H2SO4 or some acid, we know that it give out H2. It gives out H2 as a product, but when react with HNO3, it will not produce H2, because this H2 produce will oxide with oxygen and produce water. Okay, but we know that in HNO3 we are having nitrogen, so it will produce nitrogen dioxide, nitrogen trioxide, or nitrogen monoxide. Okay, so HNO3 is a strong oxidizing agent, so it will oxidize H2 to produce as water. So H2 will not be formed when metals reacts with HNO3. Okay, fine, clear, done. Okay, the next one, please remember this all points, so that clear cut we may be having a vision how we can learn reactivity series. And the next one, electronic configuration of some metal. You need to learn full table. Do practice sodium chloride, aluminum chloride, magnesium chloride. And the next revision we will go to the corrosion and the alloys in the part 3 of the revision. Thank you.